Hello everyone and welcome to the Rage Traders NRL Supercoach podcast. Wolfie here, and today we have my first ever team reveal after the scoring and stats changes for NRL Supercoach, going from Fox Stats to NRL Stats now. So this is a completely different team. It's going to be wild because it's going to be so different from the other team reveals you saw under, obviously, the impression that we were going off Fox Stats and the old Supercoach ways. Well, it's all changed now, and so does our strategy, basically. A lot of people are throwing out ideas, cheapy halfbacks, running two of them. Do I run less fullbacks? Do I just focus on having more gun tacklers, even double high price premium hookers? So here's my team reveal. Let's get into it. But before we do, two things. If you didn't know, I'm running the Rage Traders 1K League, completely free to join, and there's $1,000 on the line. If you didn't know about this, join in. The code is 739499. Again, it's 739499. And all you have to do, if you come first and you are not a subscriber on YouTube to the Rage Traders, you will not get any of this money. So all I require you to do is be a subscriber to the Rage Traders on YouTube, and that's it. And if you win, the $1,000 is yours. Now let's get into this. Obviously, I'm going to have a bit of a different strategy here than I had before, and I'll take you through sort of an overview of what I'm thinking. And I'm going to try and edit this up so we have sort of images pop up and stuff like that, so you can see the picks, the prices, everything like that. But let's start from the hooker position. Now, I'm not going to really talk about who I had before. I'm just going to go into the reasons why I have these players now. To start off with, I have Harry Grant, $606,300. I think with the changes now to it being NRL stats only, I think he was already underpriced. Now, with him having an increase, or basically if you're looking at his Supercoach stats versus NRL stats, he has a 5.2 increase already to what he would have accumulated if he was on NRL stats last season. And him already being unders in price, in my opinion, I just think it's pretty much a shoo-in for me. I don't really have the funds with this team I'm trying to go for Blake Brayley, and I'd love to do that. I even tried messing around with like a Harry Grant and a Reed Marnie, or a Harry Grant and a Blake Brayley, and it just felt like a bit too much. So Harry Grant is going to be my main hooker. We know that the Melbourne Storm, you know, they've got some things to work out with people leaving the team or not being available in the team. Eli Katoa, Pappenhausen, we all know about that. But more about Harry Grant just taking more of a workload. Tackles are going to be more in his favor. Hopefully it's a healthier season for him where he doesn't miss a bit of games here and there. But I just think he's a very safe pick, and I'm sticking with Harry Grant. Next, I have in hooker 2 position, Brandon Smith, $235,600. Again, with the increase to, or the difference with how the scoring system works now, he gets a 2.2 difference and increase towards his score. That's great for a cheapie. And again, we just want a cheapie in there that we don't really have to think about. And maybe in the near future, depending on how many minutes he plays, 50, 60, it could be a bit more than that. Hopefully he's someone we sell and then we just make a bit of money on and get enough or another cheapie in. But Brandon Smith, pretty happy with that. Also, we're going to see how they look in the preseason challenge. But again, just super happy with that sort of start of the team, because you'll see what I'm focusing on in a moment. All right, next front row forwards, I have Payne Haas to start with. I've been thinking so much about, do I start with him? Do I not start with him? Is it really worth it? But again, with these changes, and I will have to mention this because it's such a imperative topic to talk about. Payne Haas, not only the gun of NRL Supercoach, the gun of the forward pack, he gets increased by 3.2, which is a 3.7% difference. That's huge in itself. So he goes up to about a 90.4 average. I mean, I don't know if he's going to sit at that. I don't know if he's going to be at that. Again, there was times, I think, like the way I think about this is we weren't going to start Payne Haas for the only reason of having 3 strong fullbacks, or 3 strong sort of players that were other premiums. Now, the only reason you wouldn't start with Payne Haas right now is to get 3 really strong CT dubs or 4 really strong CT dubs. And that's something you might want to do. There's no shame in doing that whatsoever. But the one thing I'm worried about is that we need a certified safe captaincy option. And I think Payne Haas is that safe 70 plus. And also with the stats now changing and going over to NRL, with that little 3-point bumper, I think that is going to help a lot just with having even more of a safer captaincy option. Whereas if you were to go Turbo, Ponga, Drinkwater, with these changes, there's actually more risk to them. So again, that's who I'm starting with. I think maybe, I don't know if I've over-explained that, but I just wanted to give you my reasoning. Again, $852,700 goes up to about a 90 average as well, so that feels good. Next, I actually have Toby Couchman. 2RF, front row forward duality, $588,300. Now, what you're going to see here is throughout my front row forwards and 2RFs, I'm trying to start higher than lower, and then I'll move to the lower players like the Hamish Stewarts, like the Jermaine McEwens, if they look really, really good. But I think I want to start with Toby Couchman. 1, he's going to be one of the main front row forwards for St. George. 2, he's a bit of a tackle machine. He does love his tackles. And 3, St. George aren't going to always be attacking. So what does that mean? That means they're going to be tackling more. That means they're going to be on the back foot a bit. Sure, he might not get as much runs, but he's going to be in the middle of the field. He's going to be tackling a lot. I mean, this guy gets 69 points in 70 minutes with 61 in base, 61 in 61 minutes, 46 in 43. This is only going to increase or marginally increase with the new system as well. So he increased by 4.5 in difference, going from a 60.2 average to a 64.7. So that's also a nice little buffer. And again, we can't take these things as written in stone. But again, it's nice to know that you're picking players that aren't just having the higher chance of actually losing points based off what's happened with the changes in NRL Supercoach. So for me, that's basically a slot in for me. And then and I'll go through my team again, if things change and other players look better, I can just go down if he doesn't look as good. I mean, I don't know the exact minutes today because on NRL stats, everyone just had 81 minutes. He had about 22 tackles, not a lot of runs, but he was doing some stuff in the beginning. So I need to look at his minutes because when I looked early, it looked like he was just absolutely dominating. So I'll need to look into that properly. But again, hopefully preseason tells us that he's going to be one of the main guys there in the front row pack, in the forward pack, and he's just a great slot in at $588,300. Next, I have Tanela Paseka, $328,600. I just think he's going to be really good for Manly. He's going to make you a lot of money. I think he can get to the $500,000 mark. I really do. It might take a bit of time. It might be a bit of a slow grind. Also, he does get a slight bump in the stats change. So he gets a 3.7 increase as well, going from a 48 Supercoach average to a 51.7. I really, really like that. I think, again, he's going to be one of the forwards for Manly that has to be efficient, has to produce for them to do really, really well. And if they are going to be the attacking team they're used to being, he's going to have to roll forward and get those numbers. And hopefully that is the case. Pretty much a shoo-in, I think, for your FRF3. And next, I have from the Gold Coast Titans, Curtis Moran. The only reason I have him here and not a complete enough, $260,400. 1, he has duality, so he's got 2RF duality with the front row 4 position. 3, I just want to see how they look and what they do with the Jamin Jolliffe injury with the ACL for the whole season. I think that's going to be really interesting. So for me, I think he can actually make money as well. He also did get a boost in the stats change. Let me know in the comments if you're just sick of hearing about the stats change, because I don't want to be the type of guy that just keeps talking about it, but I think it is quite a big subject we need to keep focused on. Maybe not do everything to change our team around it, but still be wary of it. But yeah, Curtis Morin is there. He's not in this spreadsheet I have, but I think he had like a 5 to 7% increase from the difference from Supercoach to NRL. Again, $260,400. Then we go to my second row forwards, Tino Fa'amasuala'i. Again, I think he will get FRF duality as well, but he's just in my team. $687,600, a premium as well, but pretty much unders in my opinion. The one thing I don't like about this stats change is that I think, and I was saying this to Brandon Savage from the Supercoach experience, I kind of feel like everyone's front row forward and 2RF are going to be very, very similar. And where people are going to be different and losing game points is sort of like halfback, 5/8, and maybe a bit of like the fullbacks and what you do there with the flex. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to see. But again, we'll have to wait and see how the cookie crumbles, as they say. But Tino, again, I think he's just really, really good for what he's priced at, being under 700,000. Really, really nice to see. And we know what he's capable of. I think Gold Coast will have a better season as well. He actually goes down by 0.6% though in the change of stats, going from a 70.3 to a 69.9. But again, for me, I'm happy to kind of wear that. That's very, very minor. I think he's just a class player, and I want someone that has that consistency in my 2RF. That's a high premium. And I do actually think he can just sit there and maintain that score. But again, we'll have to wait and see. All right. Next, I think a lot of people are going to have this gentleman right now from the Penrith Panthers, Isaiah Yeo, $610,100. With how the runs are now calculated, with the changes that have all been made, I think he's pretty much his ownership from now to the start of the season is going to slowly go up and up and up. I think he's going to be a big pick for a lot of people. And basically, I've seen some people say, like, if you don't start with him, something is wrong with you, essentially. I don't know how far I'm going to say that. Go to that sort of sentence, but the one thing I like is that because they have a bad draw, a lot of these grinders in the middle for Penrith Panthers are going to be tackling a lot, getting in the thick of things. I really like that, and I think that's one thing we need to now understand because of this stats change, is that these tougher draws, when good teams are playing tougher draws, it's going to benefit the forwards in a bit. Yes, they'll get tired. It's going to be tougher games, but they're also going to be tackling more. They're also going to be in the middle. Things are going to happen. Maybe a bit more runs here and there. Might be a bit less meters, but these grindy games, these blockbuster games, I think it's going to work well in favor for people like Isaiah Yeo. So he's in the team, $610,100. Really excited to see what he does and how he looks in the preseason as well when he plays. But again, pretty much showing a huge amount of value here. He's one of the biggest, if not the biggest. 62.4 Supercoach stats average to a 68.6. That's a 6.2 difference in points. Plus, there'll be some differences maybe in tackles, I think, as well. Like, I think maybe from the tackles and the runs, he could just bump up even a bit more. But don't overlook him too much. I just, not overlook him. Don't think he's going to be this 70, 75, 80 player. I just think he's going to be a 65 average player that's consistent for us at the start of the season and someone who we don't have to worry about and consider a risk. And that's why he's there. All right. Next one, Trey Mooney, $442,000. FRF duality as well. So you're going to notice in my team, I like having a bit of dual positions here. It's really nice. I think he's going to be the front runner for the Newcastle Knights. Even if they do bad, I think he's going to clear his price tag pretty easily and get to anywhere between 50 to 55. I think he's pretty much a shoo-in in my team unless I see otherwise, but he looked great. He even posted up some really good numbers today for the preseason challenge. I didn't get to watch all of it. I only got to watch a very minority of the game, but I looked at the stats and I was like, this is what I want to see. He looked like he's a bit of a workhorse, and that's exactly what I want to see. So he's going to sit there in my 2RF3 position. Going in my 2RF4 position, Colquhoun from the Sharks. Jesse Colquhoun. I've pronounced it right. I swear to you. He also has FRF dual position, $332,500. I'm not going to go over this too much, but Cam McInnes not being there, I think until about round 12, was it? That could be wrong. But Cam McInnes not being there, I just think is a shoe-in for a nice cheapy-ish grab. Maybe get to like the 400, 450 mark, get him out, make some cash, and Bob's your uncle. Atavalu Lasardi from Melbourne, $269,400. Don't need to speak about this too much, to be honest with you. Taking over Eli Katoa's position. Should be a shoe-in, should be some easy money, and yeah, nothing much. Now, this position I'm not 100% on, but for now, I've got Cooper Bay, apologies on which way it is, but I just think he'll do good for Gold Coast, even though they have 3 away games as their first 3 games. I just think over time he'll make money. He signed an extension or a new contract with the team. I like to see and hear that. So that to me tells me that they believe in him, and that I think that'll work well in his favor. Again, I'm not 100% on this 2RF6 position. This could be anyone, maybe a new cheapie comes through, but for now, Cooper will sit there. And that is my 2RF and FRF positions, guys. So just a quick recap, especially for audio listeners. We've got Harry Grant and Brandon Smith in the hookers, Payne Haas, Toby Couchman, Tanella Paseka, Curtis Morin in my front row, then Tino Fa'amasuala'i, Isaiah Yeo, Trey Mooney, Jesse Colquhoun, Atavalu Lasardi, and Cooper Bay in 2RF6. Now let's move to the halfback scenario. You might be surprised with this. I have been toying with Sam Walker. Now, I should also say this. My salary left over is very thin, $9,600 for this team. But I have Mitchell Moses in there now. Now, with the try assist change, I know Mitchell Moses got hurt a bit. I'm I'm also thinking that this could easily be a Dylan Brown if he doesn't get the 5'8" position. This could easily be someone else. But I could also swap this so my 5'8" is a bit weaker and I go to someone like a Sam Walker. So a lot of the time I've been praising Sam Walker. I still am pretty hot on Sam Walker, and I do think I'm close to trying to find a way to maybe shift between the 5'8" position to get there, or shift for my flex to make them a bit cheaper to get Sam Walker. The reason being is I like the combo of Sam Walker and Cameron Munster, because they still have the aerial threat on each side for the chip kicks, for the little bombs that will give them the try assist. And I think they're the two main teams where the aerial threats are really massive. Cameron Munster going to Xavier Coates, Cameron Munster going to Will Warbrick, and then you've got my boy Sam Walker going to Tupou, and I forget who the winger is. I don't know if Marky Mark will be playing on the wing. I don't know about that. But again, the threat is there on the right side as well. I assume it's Marky Mark. So that's where I was sort of heading. For now, I'm sitting with Moses. The reason I'm sitting with Moses, and I've actually said that I don't believe in the Moses pick, is just because of this NRL stats change. It's literally because of that. And I looked at all the players I could pick, and I'm like, I'm too scared to go cheapie. I'm too scared to go Atkinson and Sanders. That just seems a bit too risky to me, especially if Cleary starts popping off or Nico Hines starts popping off, and we're like, okay, I need a way to get to them. How do I do it? I can't make that $700,000, $600,000 gap. With a $554,100 price tag, that's a $200,000 to $300,000 jump. That can be achieved. You can manipulate that in some ways, but going from a cheapie to that is going to be very difficult. Also, if they can just score a bit of points, if they can just show a bit of fight in them, I think he's going to be a really, really solid pick, providing that they're scoring points. And that's the one thing I've always spoken about Mitchell Moses, and why I was so hesitant in picking him is because of the lack of points they might be scoring this year. However, no Lomax. Maybe they're like, wow, everyone thinks we're just going to be bad because Lomax is gone. We have to remember Mitchell Moses is a really, really good player. I just wish there was some more stars around him or really good players, but we'll have to wait and see. Again, not 1,000% set in stone, but if they look semi-good in the preseason challenges and it looks like they're clicking, I think he'll be the player that sort of sits there, because Again, I don't want to go too cheap, but I don't want to go too heavy. Again, going in Nico Hines, going in Nathan Cleary, that could also be a play. But I have to wait and see, because going these high-priced halfbacks with the stats change could be very, very, very scary if they start off slow. Daniel Atkinson for me in the halfback 2 position. Honestly, this is just a waiting game to see who looks better between him and Ethan Sanders. And if Ethan Sanders has the kicking, he'll just be an easy swap. Atkinson, $235,600. Cameron Munster, as I spoke about just before, he's my 5'8 pick. The reason being, I just think he's just going to be the absolute core of this Melbourne Storm team. He already was, of course, but like with no Pappenhausen there, no Eli Katoa, I think more is going to even fall on his shoulders now. Whether that's a good or bad thing, we'll have to wait and see. Again, this halfback 5'8 combo, this could easily be like if Sandon Smith starts in the hooker position, I might easily go Sam Walker, Sandon Smith. Something like that, because Sandon Smith might be tackling out of his mind. So there's things here that I might tweak, but for now, Cameron Munster, Jonah Pezzett there in the 5'8 position. I really like just the Melbourne Storm opening draw. You know, Parramatta at home is nice. I just think they've got a really nice opening draw, to be honest with you, and I think Munster will capitalise on that, and then maybe people will flock to him, and maybe that's when I can sort of jump off close to that and sort of play a little tricky game there. But he also could just be an absolute lock until Origin period, like Harry Grant. Next, wings and centres. This is where things get spicy. Well, in my opinion, this is something that's just crazy to me, because I never would do this in my life. But now I am starting with Herbie Farnworth. There's just too much positives with the changes in the NRL stats versus the Supercoach stats. $825,600. I just have to. I mean, I think you're very silly if you don't, and you can just jump off if he has the ultra worst start ever. An 84.4 to an 89.8, being a 5.4 difference. Also, him being a center now, having more likelihood of actually getting a try assist. That's absolutely huge. So I'm going to stick with that, and Herbie Grant does start in my team. Valentine Holmes is my next one. St. George Dragons, $734,200. The one thing I really like, and I think I overlooked this before, because I'm like, there was no way I could start Holmes because of their draw, but I looked more into it, and I think in the last video I did talking about like the top owned players, it sort of clicked that it wasn't as bad as I thought, because let me just bring it up here, because their draw actually does not look too bad whatsoever. And I think the one thing I really, really rate about it is that because the first game of theirs is against the Bulldogs, a lot of people are hesitant to go there, but that's also the first game that's going to drop out of his score. So he could easily regather his price. Now, he's the goal kicker. They're versing Melbourne at home, Parramatta away after the Bulldogs game, Gold Coast away, North Queensland at home, Manly at home, Souths away, Sydney Roosters at home into a bye. I really like that he's a goal kicker. I like that he's a bit underpriced, in my opinion. I think he can clear that price without a doubt. Now, there's also a spot here where I was thinking I was really tempted to go Casey McLean. But him being the goal kicker for the team, it's just so much to pass up. And I think these goal-kicking center wings now are going to be absolutely huge and something I need to look more into. But for now, Valentine Holmes sits in my team, $734,200. Next one I have at $705,900, KL Iro for the Cronulla Sharks. I think this guy is... first of all, I think Cronulla are going to go left even more now with the Stone Street coming to the left side. That I could be wrong in saying that, but I think that could easily be a case, because all they're going to be playing into really on the right side is still Briton Nikora and Katoa. And I really like the left side for the Sharks. Again, Iro came off an injury. Looked really good towards the start of the season, that's for sure. and had a bit of a, not an up and down season, but just an inconsistent season in terms of just the injury coming back, going. So he missed round 5 to round 8, then missed round 15 to round 24. Has some lowish scores there, but when he's consistent, when he's actually playing footy, 65, 111, 85, 61, 71, 84, 77, 103, average of 72 points with 70 in 74 minutes. That's really nice to see. And I think with, again, the try assist now going to the center, this could be really good for him. He's someone who always likes to take on the line. He loves being the try scorer, but I think he's going to have an amazing amount of opportunities, especially with the draw that they have as well. We know that Cronulla Sharks have a really, really nice draw, and I think he might capitalize on that. I can't say he definitely will, but I'm hoping the Cronulla Sharks just absolutely get off to a hot start, and KL Ero will reap benefits of that. They have Gold Coast to start with, into Penrith away, which is obviously tough, but then Dolphins at home, Canberra away, New Zealand at home, Sydney Roosters at home, into a bye, North Queensland away, West Tigers at home, Souths away. So that's not a too bad of an opening draw. So KL Ero will sit at my CT Dubs number 3. Number 4, pretty easy pick in my opinion. Maybe not easy, but Latrell Mitchell. I think he's just unders for what he can offer. $626,800. Goal kicker will obviously be a target for the attack. Hoping that they do get a lot of attack in the first 2 games at least. If I don't know if I've said goal kicker, but the obvious goal kicker for South Sydney Rabbitohs. The left is always where they go. It's a huge part of their attack. Now with David Fifita there, playing a decoy, being someone that they can hit, being someone that will give Latrell space, I think it's going to be absolutely dangerous for them. And if they get that as a massive synergy, it's going to be really, really tough for the defense, especially when there's a smaller play trying to guard that side. So that's going to be really interesting to see. But again, $626,800, so cheap. Next, I have Setu 2. This was like a swap between David Farley and Setu 2. Setu 2 played today in the reserves. Again, I think it's just going to be whoever the St. George cheapie is. Then I have Makasini from the West Tigers, $235,600. Same as David Farley, he's $235,600. Setu 2, I think, is basement price as well. Then I have, I don't even know how to pronounce this name. I do apologize. Holy, I didn't think about this. Siali Faimani. I apologize if I have absolutely butchered that. $201,400 for the Gold Coast Titans. Just an absolute basement price cheapie there. Now, this is where things get interesting. I've got some big units in the front row forward and second row forward, and obviously got a massive center wing. So this has to come out of somewhere. My fullbacks, Keanu Keeney into Chester, Tommy Chester. I'm going to take a hit here. I'm going to see, the one thing that's great about this stats change is that we're going to have an ability to see what the points are going to look like from the high tier and just the players in general over the time they play. But for now, Keanu Kinney, $495,000. I still think he warrants obviously being the main fullback we target. He's cheap. We know his capability. I don't care if he gets hit a bit in the scoring changes. I think he can clear this price tag with ease. Tommy Chester, I just really like that he has the fullback and CTW dual position. He can replace anyone in that team, even the cheapies. If I want to target a fullback, I can easily bring him in and move Chester up. So that I like that sort of just that option there, that support sort of option. And again, a cheapie for the Cowboys, who have a nice opening draw. Nothing too crazy, nothing too hard, and nothing too easy. But Newcastle away, West Tigers away, Gold Coast at home, Melbourne at home, St. George away, Broncos away, Manly at home. So a bit of hard games there, but also just something where he can make money and sort of sit there. Last but not least, in the flex at $517,900 for Parramatta, 2RF and FRF position, another dual position, Jermaine Hopgood. Just really big on the Jermaine Hopgood pick. He's going to get an increase as well from the change in the stats by 2.2 increase, so nothing too massive, but still good to see. He just has to be in the prop position, and he's in the team for me pretty much. As long as I see him getting minutes, he looks healthy, and he's tackling, it's just a slot in for me. So that is my team reveal, everyone. Just from top to bottom, I'll run it through you again. Harry Grant, Brandon Smith, Payne Haas, Toby Couchman, Tanella Paseka, Curtis Morin, Tino Fa'amasuala'i, Isaiah Yeo, Trey Mooney, Jesse Colhoun, Atavalu Lasardi, Cooper Bai, Mitchell Moses, Daniel Atkinson, Cameron Munster, and Jonah Pezzett, Farnworth, Holmes, Iro, Latrell Mitchell, David Farley or Setu 2, then Makasini, and then I will just say his first name, Siale from the Gold Coast Titans. Then I've got Keanu Kinney, Tommy Chester, and Jermaine Hopgood in the flex. Let me know what you think about the team in the comments below. Let me know what you're thinking about your team, what your new strategy is. Is it just absolutely nothing out and having cheapies in the 5/8 or the halfback and going massive in the CT dubs and the forwards? Let me know what you're thinking. Please, again, like, subscribe, comment for the algorithm, and 5-star reviews on the podcast. That would be absolutely amazing, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Wolfie here from the Rage Traders.